Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Caitanya Caritāmrta overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshutarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, we are discussing from Caitanya Caritāmrta. We are on chapter 3rd. So in this chapter, Kaviraj Goswami is elaborating on the 4th verse of Ādī-Līlā, first chapter. That is the external reason for descent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirna kalau samarpayitum unnat ujjal rasam swabhakti shriyam Hari purata sundar dviti kandarpa sandeepitai sada hridaya kandare spratuva sachinandanaha. So this is the 4th verse of the first chapter, which Kaviraj Goswami is elaborating in this chapter. So far we have discussed the explanation of Krishna Varnam to Shah Krishnam, and he describes in great detail what is the meaning of Krishna Varna. Krishna Varne, one who has Krishna syllable in his mouth, and one who takes great pleasure in reciting the names of Krishna. Krishnam, he is blackish. He is Krishna, but he is not blackish. Krishnam. That means he is golden in complexion. And then he described Sang, Upang, Astra, Parshadam. What are the various weapons? The associates, the plenary portions and the associates of the Lord, they are the Upang and Anga. So Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, they are the Anga. And the devotees of Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, they are the Upang. So we ended with this 81st verse, where Kaviraj Goswami is quoting a verse by Srila Jiva Goswami in Bhagavad Sandarbha. Antar Krishna Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadhyasma Krishna Chaitanya Mashritaha. So I take shelter of that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared in Kali Yuga, he is inside Krishna, black, he is Krishna, but he has a golden complexion. So we'll continue from here, from in the 82nd verse. Kaviraj Goswami is now telling that in Upapuranas also there is a conversation in which Krishna is telling Vyasdev about his descent as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ahameva kvachid brahman sannyasashramam ashritaha hari bhaktim grahayami kalau papa hatan naran. So Krishna is telling to Vyasdev, Aham eva, O Brahmana, I will accept sannyas ashramam. I will accept the renounced order of life in Kali Yuga. And what I'll do? Hari bhaktim grahayami. I will accept devotional service to myself, to Hari. Kalau papahatan naran. People in Kali Yuga who are so very involved in sinful activities, just to liberate them, I will appear in the form of a sannyasi. That is the supreme merciful nature of Krishna. Mahavadanyaya. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. So he is so merciful that he cannot see people of Kali Yuga suffering because of lack of Krishna consciousness. So he is ready to take the pains of entering sannyas ashram. He had most beautiful wife, most loving mother, but he left everything just for the welfare of people of Kali Yuga. And then he describes that there are some believers and non-believers of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Bhagavatam, Upanishads, Puranas, and all the Vedic literatures, they confirm, there are so many quotations given in all these scriptures proving that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So there is Shastra Praman about the appearance of Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and there is Pratyaksha Praman also. Many great acharyas and the great devotees of the Lord who directly saw the influence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was unparalleled. Nobody could have done what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. To establish Sankirtan movement, to transform big sannyasis and prakand pandits like Sarvam Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati, it was unimaginable. To transform all the South India, it is unimaginable. Even making tigers and the lions of Jharkhand forest dance, it is impossible. So all these uncommon activities, they could have been manifested only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But those who are faithless, those who are non-believers, they do not see. Just like owl, owl, he cannot see the sun. He keeps his eyes closed and he says that there is no sun. Similarly, the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the activities are so very evident. Any intelligent person, any sane person will accept him as Krishna. But these faithless people, they are like owls. They are not ready to accept the supremacy and divinity of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he quotes another verse from Stotra Ratna of Yamunacharya, where Yamunacharya is telling, oh my Lord, those people who are influenced by demoniac principles, they cannot realize you. Although you are clearly the Supreme Personality, but faithless people who are demoniac, they will never accept you. You have exalted in your activities, your power, your name is unimaginable, your form. It is embodiment of quality of goodness, and all the great transcendentalists, they have accepted you as the Supreme Personality. But those who are faithless, they will never accept. Prabhupada writes in the purport that Krishna was not accepted as a Supreme Personality by vox populi. That means by vote. Krishna is mentioned in scriptures as the Supreme Lord, that's why we accept him. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells himself, when I descend in human form, fools deride me. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Foolish people, they deride me when I descend in human form. Avajananti mama mudha. Foolish people, they cannot understand. And therefore, Krishna is not only just accepted by vote. Okay, for 5 years, this person is God. No. Krishna, Arjuna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, Ahustvam rishaya sarve devarshina radastatha asuto devalo vyasa swayam chaiva pravishime. You are accepted as the Supreme Personality by Asita, by Devala, Vyasa, Narada, and now you yourself are telling me that you are the Supreme. But Krishna reserves the right of exposing himself or covering himself. He does not reveal himself to those who are faithless. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita. Mudhoyam na vijanati loko mamajam avyayam. So foolish people, they can never understand and accept Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality. Those who have not done sufficient pious credits, they will never accept. Namam dushkritino mudha. Those who are dushkritina, those who have not performed sufficient pious credits, they can never accept Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a Supreme Lord. It requires lots of sukriti. That sukriti is not an ordinary material pious sukriti. There are three types of sukritis. There is a bhakti unmukhi sukriti, bhogonmukhi sukriti, and mokshonmukhi sukriti. That pious activity which impels one to do sense gratification, that is called bhogonmukhi. Just like feeding poor, giving charity to beggars. It is all bhogonmukhi. It will give one a facility to enjoy life in the next life. Better facilities for enjoyment. Mokshonmukhi means if somebody has cultivated knowledge of Brahman, somehow or other, if he cannot complete his process, in the next life he will get a chance to begin from wherever he stopped, mokshonmukhi, so that he can attain liberation. And there is something called bhakti unmukhi sukriti. Anyone who comes in touch with Krishna or devotees of Krishna appreciates the process of Krishna consciousness. That is sukriti. So those who are dushkriti, they will never accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord. So whoever comes to the process of Krishna consciousness, they are rarest of the rare souls. Manushyanam sahasreshu kasyad yatati siddhaye. Very rare souls, they come to Krishna. So Krishna, he tries to hide himself in various ways. The pure devotee of the Lord, they detect the divinity. They find out, oh, he is Supreme Lord himself. And then he quotes another verse from Stotra Ratna of Yamunacharya, where Yamunacharya is telling that, oh my Lord, you are unlimited. You cannot be limited by space and time. And your characteristics, your activities, they are all beyond the understanding of ordinary living entity. That's why Bhishma Dev also tells that Yad vijigyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Even great rishis are bewildered. Nobody can understand how Krishna acts in certain ways and why he acts. And therefore, you try to cover yourself, but your pure devotees, they find out. They are able to see you, not everyone. Only pure devotees can understand. And Prabhupada writes that Lord is never covered by illusion, although he appears in many avatars, which are, and he may not claim himself to be God, just like Lord Ram, he never claimed himself to be God. But everybody could understand he is a Supreme Personality. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami writes that, those who are demoniac in nature, they will never accept Krishna. They will never accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But you cannot hide yourself from pure devotees. And then he quotes a verse from Padma Purana. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura evacha Vishnu bhakta smrito deva asuras tadviparyayah. There are two types of people in this world. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin. There are two types of people in this world: Sura and Asura. Daiva and Asura. Who is an Asura? Who is a Devata? Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Devaha. Anyone who is a devotee of Vishnu, he is a Devata. And everybody else is a demon. Asurastad viparya. Although it may look very, very strong statement. Anyone who does not take shelter of Krishna is a demon. So who is a demon? Prabhupada clarifies. Because our conception of demon is one who is sinful, one who does not do anything for the service of the Lord, one who kills, and earlier times, earlier ages, who had sharp teeth, very fierce features. Who is a demon? Prabhupada clarifies. Demons means they don't work for Krishna's pleasure. They work for the satisfaction of their own senses. Anyone who is working for the satisfaction of his own senses, he is a demon. And anyone who works for the satisfaction of Krishna, he is a devata. He is a devotee. And actually, there is a difference between lust and love. So therefore, if we apply this definition, most of the people, they come under the category of demons. We may not say so in public, but we should understand who is a demon and who is a devata, who is a devotee and who is a asura. Just like Kaviraj Goswami says in further one of the chapters, what is the difference between lust and love? Atmendriya priti vancha tare bolikam, Krishnendriya priti cha dhare premanam. The desire to satisfy one's own senses is lust. And desire to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is love. So therefore the demons, they cannot know Krishna, but Krishna cannot hide himself from his devotees. And then he describes the principal reason for the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the principal reason? That is appeal by Sri Advaitacharya. Who is Lord Sri Advaitacharya? He is the incarnation of Lord himself. Bhakta Avatar. He appeared as the devotee. And his loud calling was the cause of Krishna's appearance. So whenever Krishna has to descend in this world, he first of all, he sets the stage properly. Because he has to perform the pastimes. And to perform the pastimes, all the superiors, they come first. Krishna sends all the Guru Varga. He sends his mother, father, teachers. They all come before him. So, all these respectable personalities like Jagannath Mishra, Shachimata, Madhavendra Puri, Advaitacharya, they all appeared before the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Advaitacharya, he was really lamenting. Why he was lamenting? Because a devotee can never see people suffering because of the lack of Krishna consciousness. As Prabhupada would repeatedly say that there is only one thing which is lacking in this world, that is Krishna consciousness. Prakatiya dekhe acharya sakala sansar, Krishna bhakti gandhahin vishaya vyavahar. So when Advaitacharya appeared in this world, Prakatiya dekhe acharya sakala sansar, when Acharya Advaitacharya saw that entire world is absorbed in Vishaya Vyavahar. Vishaya Vyavahar means absorbed in sense gratification. Nobody had any taste for serving Krishna. When Advaitacharya was there in Navadvip, all people, although they were scholars of the Vedas, but they were all karmakandi. Nobody was interested in serving Krishna. So therefore, this created such pain in the heart of Advaitacharya. And he was thinking, Keha pape, keha punye kore vishay bhog, Bhakti gandha nahi yate yae bhavarog. Some people are sinful. Keha pape, keha punye. Some are pious, some are sinful. Kare vishay bhog. Both are doing what? They are trying to enjoy senses. Bhakti gandha hina. Bhakti gandha nahi. There is no even smell. There is no tinge of devotional service. Nobody is interested in transcendental service of the Lord. Yate yaye bhavarog. Because transcendental service is the only means by which one can transcend the ocean of birth and death. And Prabhupada, he writes in this paragraph, in this purport, the fact is that in this material world, there is no scarcity of anything except Krishna consciousness. And actually, it is a fact. We can trace back all our problems to lack of Krishna consciousness. Because everybody in this world is planning for mitigating their temporary problems, but nobody is making plan for mitigating the real problems: birth, old age, disease, and death. These are the real problems. So Prabhupada writes that these four miseries are bhavarog. These are the real diseases of this world. Bhavaroga. This bhavarog, very commonly used word, the disease of material existence. Vyamoham prashamaushadam munimano vritti pravrityaushadam Daityendrarti karaushadam trubhuvane sanjeevane kaushadam. So very famous prayer describes Vyamoham. In this world, everybody is completely illusioned. Only way to come out, the only medicine, prasham aushadham, the only aushadhi which can cure the disease of material existence is sanjeevanaik aushadham bhaktya tanta bhaya bhava. So he says the only medicine to destroy the material existence is the aushadhi of the holy name. The only means, only way to destroy the bhava rog is the bhava aushadhi. Bhava aushadhi is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord. And that is what Parikshit Maharaj also tells in the 10th canto. Nivritta tarshai rupagiyamana bhavaushadha shrotra manobhirama kaha uttama shloka gunanuvada puman virajyeta vina pashubhanat. Who will give up the chance to hear the pastimes of Krishna, which is the only medicine, bhavaushadhat, which is the only medicine for this bhavaroga? Anyone who does not take advantage of this medicine, he is an animal. Only an animal will not take advantage. So this bhavarog can be mitigated only by Krishna bhakti. But Advaita Acharya said that he saw that there is no Krishna bhakti gandha. Nobody is interested even a bit in Krishna consciousness. Everybody was absorbed in materialism. So seeing the activities of people in general, Advaita Acharya, he became very much compassion, very much pained. He felt compassion. He was pained. And he was wondering how these living entities will be delivered. Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is a quality of an Acharya. Who is an Acharya? Prabhupada writes, Acharya is not one who can exploit people. Acharya is a humble servitor of the Supreme Lord, and his only business is that he is compassionate towards the living entities. And he gives everyone the path of devotional service because he knows that this is the only solution. He is himself engaged in serving Krishna and he is engaging others in serving Krishna. Shri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Shringara Tanmandir Marjanadav Yuktasya Bhaktamsha Chaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. He is himself engaged in serving Krishna, and he is engaging all the living entities in serving Krishna. He makes no distinction that I will preach here, they are royal people, I will get lots of benefits. Oh, these are very poor slum dwelling, I will not preach there. No, he is preaching without a discrimination. That's how Srila Prabhupada started. Nobody would go to the Bowery to preach this message, because when Srila Prabhupada he went to America, many Swamis from India they had gone and they had established their empires by preaching to all the posh people. But Srila Prabhupada he started with Bowery. Nobody would imagine that a Swami would be staying in Bowery. But Prabhupada he had equal vision. One time Prabhupada was returning from a very successful program and all the devotees were there with him in the car, and Prabhupada was looking out of the window towards, and he was seeing the skyscraper buildings. And devotees were happy that we had a good program, it was well attended. One devotee saw that Prabhupada had tears in his eyes. So they were really confused. What happened? Everything went well. Why Prabhupada is having tears? So one devotee he asked Prabhupada, what happened? So Prabhupada said, we should save them. He was looking at the high-rise buildings. We should save them. So that is a mood of compassion of a pure devotee. He's not attracted by the glamour of this world. He feels compassion when people, they don't take interest in spiritual life. That was the compassion of Advaita Acharya, because all the big pandits and all the great scholars of Naldi, they were very well situated, but nobody had devotion. And Prabhupada writes, whether you are a rich person or a poor person, it is like a first-class prisoner or a third-class prisoner. First-class prisoner, he wrongly thinks that I am happy, oh, I have all the facilities, but ultimately you are in jail. And third-class prisoners, they try to imitate the first-class prisoners. They also stay bound in that jail only. So Prabhupada writes that function of the Acharya is to change the activities of both this first-class and the third-class prisoners by giving them Krishna. And anyone who tries to do it, he is a dear devotee of the Lord. As Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रियकृत्तमः भविता न च मे तस्माद् अन्यः प्रियतरो भुवि. Anyone who preaches this message of Krishna consciousness, he is most dear to me. So Advaita Acharya, that's why he was Acharya. And then he started thinking that in Kali Yuga, Krishna does not incarnate. How these people will be delivered? Because only Krishna can now do something. Krishna is called Triyogi. Krishna does not appear in very obvious ways, but only Krishna can deliver all these people. Apani Shri Krishna yadi korena avatar, apani achari bhakti korena prachar. If Krishna appears, then he can preach this message. Apani achari, by his own example, he can preach. Nama binu kali kale dharma nahi yaar, kali kale koi che habe Krishna avatar. The only means to get deliverance in the age of Kali Yuga is chanting of the holy names. But in this age of Kali Yuga, how Krishna will appear? Because it is described in the scriptures. Krite yadhyayate Vishnu tretayam yajato makhai dvapare paricharyayam kalautad hari kirtanat. The result which was obtained by doing tapasya for a long time in Satya Yuga, by doing elaborate sacrifices in Dwapar Yuga, by doing deity worship by doing elaborate sacrifices in Treta Yuga, by doing deity worship in Dwapar Yuga. That same result is obtained by chanting of the holy names, Nam Sankirtana. So it was evident. Everyone knew about it. But Advaitacharya was thinking, how Krishna will appear in Kali Yuga? Then he thought, I shall worship Krishna. I will beg, I will humbly pray to Krishna in a purified state of mind, and I will make Krishna appear. My name Advaita will be fulfilled if I am able to induce Krishna to appear in this Kali Yuga. So in this way, Dvaitacharya was remembering. He remembered a verse from Gautamiya Tantra. तुलसी दल मात्रेण जलस्य चुलुकेन वा विक्रीणते स्वमात्मानं भक्तेभ्यो भक्तवत्सलः. So in this verse from Gautamiya Tantra, Krishna is telling anyone who merely offers tulasi dal, who just offers me leaves of tulasi and Ganga Jal, I am so much indebted to that person. I cannot repay the debt. So then what I do, I sell myself to that person. Vikrinate, vikrinde. I sell myself. Bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. I am so very affectionate to the devotees. Actually, he's told about the Supreme Lord. Lord, who is so affectionate to his devotees, he sells himself. To that devotee, who just offers tulasi and Gangajal. So Dvaitacharya, thinking about this verse, he says, I will offer Gangajal and Tulsi. And Lord, he will not be able to liquidate the debt. So what he'll do, he'll offer himself. He'll come in this world. Because Lord is pleased by a simple offering of leaf, one flower, one fruit, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, yome, bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayadatmanaha. So thinking in this way, Advaitacharya started offering Tulasi and Ganga Jal to his Shaligram Shila. And because of the loud calls of Advaitacharya, Krishna appeared. And therefore, Krishna, he incarnates in this world to fulfill the desires of his devotees. Chaitanyera avatar e mukhya hetu, bhaktera ichchaya avatare dharma setu. So the prime reason, the principal reason for the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the loud calls of Advaitacharya. Bhaktera ichchaya avatare dharma setu. Dharma setu means the embodiment of religion. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the embodiment of religion. He appeared to fulfill the desires of devotees. After all, Krishna tells in Srimad, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavit rit saroja asse shrute kshita patho nanunata pumsam yad yad dhiyata urugaya vibhavayanti tat tad vapu pranayase tadanugrahaya. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavit rit saroja. Oh my Lord, you live in the lotus-like heart of your devotees. So if our heart is soft like lotus and fragrant like lotus, Krishna likes to come and stay there. Bhakti Yoga Paribhavit, that heart which is purified by devotional service, Krishna likes to stay there. As Krishna tells to Durvasa, Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tuham. I reside in the heart of my devotees and devotees reside in my heart. Pravishta Karna Randrena Swanam Bhavasaroruham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Salilasya Yathasharat. So therefore the only means to purify the heart is to hear Harikatha, to absorb our mind and senses in the holy names of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord, all the while tolerating our anarthas. Whatever anarthas we may have, we should not be so much concerned about them. Just keep on chanting. And when anarthas come, we should not be disturbed. Asse shrute ikshit patho nanunata pumsam. Shruta ikshit. Generally we hear with our ears. But actually, ears can perform the function of many organs. In this verse, we can see devotees, they see you through their ears. Shruta Ikshit, they see you through their ears. The ears can perform the role of tongue also. Pibanti ye bhagavat atmana katham Caitanya Shravana Puteshu Sambritam Punanti te Vishaya Vidushitashayam Brajanti Tacharana Saroruhantikam. So, in this verse, three activities of ears are described. Pibanti, first you drink with your ears. How? Second, make your ears as the cup of your hands. Shravana Puteshu, drink the nectar through the ears by making the ears as the hands. Shrotanjali Upasprishya. Make the Anjali of your ears and drink this nectar. And in this way, you can go to Krishna. Vrajanti. Your ears will take you to Krishna. So in this verse, we can see Shruta Ikshit Patho. Devotees, they see Krishna through their ears. Yad yad dhiyata urugaya vibhavayanti tat tad vapu pranayase sadanugrahaya. And therefore, when the Lord sees his devotees chanting his names, glorifying him, he is purchased. Ye yatha mam prapadyante, in whatever form Krishna, a devotee wants, Krishna appears in that form. Yad yad dhiya, whatever intelligence a devotee has, in that form Krishna appears. So Prabhupada writes, what is Shruta Ikshit? How to see Krishna through the ears? Through the Vedas, through the scriptures. We cannot concoct any form of Krishna. We can see Krishna through the eyes of the Vedas. The Vedas, they carry the fragrance of the lotus feet of the Lord. So with the ears, we can smell also. With the ears, we can see, we can taste, we can smell. And of course, we can hear through the ears. So ears are very, very important organs. We can smell the aroma of the fragrance, aroma of the tulasi, which is offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Chandai suparnai rishayo viviktai yasyag marshod sarit varaya param padam tirth padam prapanna. So whatever form devotee wants to see, Krishna appears in that form. So therefore, the essence is that Krishna appears in many, many transcendental forms just to please his devotees. Socrates, in conclusion of this chapter, Kaviraj Goswami says, I have determined the meaning of the Ādī-Līlā 1.4, Narpita Charin Chirat, and I have described that Lord Gauranga, he appeared as an incarnation to preach unalloyed love of God. And he ends this chapter by offering respects to Rupa and Raghunath. Shri Rupa Raghunath Padeyaras Caitanya Caritāmrta Kahi Krishnadas. Then in the fourth chapter, which is entitled The Confidential Reasons for the Appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So third chapter was the explanation of the external reasons. Now, in this fourth chapter, the confidential reasons for the appearance of Lord will be described. And basically, this verse will be the explanation of the sixth verse of the Ādī-Līlā first chapter. So just like every chapter, Kaviraj Goswami begins this chapter by offering a prayer to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Prasadena Tadrupasya Vinirnayam Balopi Kurute Shastram Drishtva Brajavilasinaha. Sri Chaitanya Prasadena, by the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tadrupasya Vinirnayam. Tadrupa, Tad means the real nature of Lord Krishna. Tadrupasya Vinirnayam. One can understand the real nature of Krishna. Who can understand? Balopi. Even a foolish child can understand the real nature of Krishna. Not only that, he can describe also Vinirnayam. He can fully describe the glories of Krishna. He can describe the pastimes of Braja, Drishtva, Braja Vilasinaha. He can describe, not whimsically, according to the revealed scriptures, he can describe. So only by the mercy of Lord, one can reveal, one can understand the pastimes of Krishna. Athapi te deva padambujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. Only by the mercy of Lord one can understand the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, nacha anya, others who do not receive mercy of Krishna, they cannot understand Krishna even if they try for millions of lifetimes. So therefore Prabhupada writes, only by the mercy of the devotees Krishna can be revealed. And then Kaviraj Goswami again offers his obeisances to all the Goswamis. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. He offers obeisances to Advaita Acharya and all the devotees. And then he tells in the third verse that I have described in detail the meaning of the fourth verse in the last chapter. And now in this chapter, I am going to describe the meaning of the fifth verse. And just to explain the original meaning, I shall first describe the verse and give the meaning. So then he says, I have given the essential meaning of the fourth verse. And what was the reason of Lord Sri Chaitanya's appearance? To propagate the holy names of the Lord, and because of the appeal of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, although this is true, but this is not internal reason. This is just the external reason. Now, please hear, as I am going to describe the confidential reason for the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the internal reason. External reason was described. Now the internal reason will be described. So what is the external reason for appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Just like any avatar, why the Lord appears in any incarnation? Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhyutthana dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. To take away the burden of the earth. And whenever Lord appears, he does not appear as Krishna to reduce the burden of the earth, because that is not the job of Krishna. To reduce the burden of the earth is a job of Lord Vishnu. Krishna is not involved in that. But, last time when Krishna appeared in Dwapar Yuga, the time of appearance of Krishna coincided with the time of appearance of the Yuga Avatar. So Yuga Avatar is different and Krishna's appearance is different. But last time, and that is in the end of Kali Yuga, in the end of Dwapar Yuga, the timing of the appearance of Krishna coincided with the timing of appearance of Lord Vishnu. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that Vishnu is the one who maintains the material cosmos. And he is a principal deity who makes all the adjustments when things go haywire. So to establish the principles of dharma is not the job of Krishna, it is a job of Vishnu. But when Krishna appeared, Krishna is the primeval Lord. When he appeared, he attracted all the avatars to come. And therefore, all the avatars, they entered the form of Krishna. Who all entered? Lord Narayan. 4 Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. All the Mahavishnus, Manvantara avatar, Yuga avatar, they all descended in the body of Krishna. And Krishna, he appeared as a reservoir of all the avatars. Ataiva Vishnu takhon Krishnera sharire, Vishnu dware kore Krishna asura samhare. So therefore, Vishnu in the body of Krishna destroys the demons. Vishnu dware kore Krishna asura samhare. So Vishnu in the body of Krishna destroys the demons. So killing of the demons is not the main reason for appearance of Lord Krishna. It is a secondary reason. What is the main reason then? He describes there are two main reasons for appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the famous verses come. Prema rasa niryas korite aswadan, raga marga bhakti loke korite pracharan, rasika shekhara Krishna parama karun, ei dui hetu haite ichhara udgam. So the two reasons for internal reasons for the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema rasa niryas. Lord wanted to taste the sweet mellow of love of God, and rag marg bhakti loke. He wanted to preach this spontaneous devotional service because Krishna is not so pleased by vidhi bhakti. We have heard earlier also. He wanted to give rag marg because Krishna was thinking, I have not given this rag marg bhakti for long years. So he appeared to give rag marg bhakti loke korite pracharan. Because Krishna is Rasik Shekhar, he is supremely jubilant and he is Paramakarun, he is most compassionate. So therefore, having these two desires in the mind, Premaras Niryas and Ragamarga Bhakti Loke Pracharan. These are the two internal reasons for appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So again now, Kaviraj Goswami is describing what was the contemplation of Krishna before appearing in this world. What was he thinking? He's thinking that Vaidhi Bhakti cannot conquer me. Aishwarya Jnanete Sarva Jagatam Mishrit, Aishwarya Shrithila Prema Nahi Mora Preet. Everybody in this world, they are worshipping me with awe and reverence. Aishwarya Jnan. Sarva Jagat Mishrit. The entire universe is filled with the conception of my majesty. Oh, he's a supreme Lord. Akhil Koti Brahmand Nayak. He's Parameshwar. He's Jagadan. He is the controller of the entire universe. This is the conception of awe and reverence. But Aishwarya Shithila Prem Nahi Mora Preet. The love which is weakened by the conception of majesty does not attract me much. Amara Ishwar Mane Apana Kehin Tar Prema Vashami Nahoi Adhin. The devotees of the Lord, my devotees, they consider me to be great and they consider themselves to be very insignificant. They consider themselves to be subordinate. That does not attract me much. Nahoi Adhin. Tar Preme Vash Ami Nahoi Adhin. I don't become controlled by their love. Although Srila Prabhupada, he always told that we should worship Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. We should not artificially jump on to imitate like Sahajiyas. Our process is Vidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti, and with that Vaidhi Bhakti, when we are sincerely praying to Krishna, Krishna will reveal the Raga Bhakti, if he desires so. So therefore, Krishna says, I reciprocate with devotees in whatever mood they come to me. Yetha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasa. Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, I reciprocate according to the way people come to me. If people, they come to me in the mood of awe and reverence, I cannot give them myself. I like to give myself to those people who have no conception of awe and reverence, just like my mother Yashoda. Mora putra, mora sakha, mora pranapati, ei bhave, ei more kore, shuddha bhakti. So that, so my mother, my Gopa friends, my gopis, they are loving me with this mood, without awe and reverence. Ei bhave more, ei more kore, shuddha bhakti. They are doing unalloyed devotion without, which is not mixed with awe and reverence. Apana ke bada mane amaye samhin, sei bhave hoi ami tahar adhin. The devotees of the Lord, they consider themselves greater than me. Apana ke bada mane, and or amara samhin. Oh, you are equal to us, or you are subordinate to us. I become controlled by such love. So Prabhupada in the purport, he described there are three types of devotional service. There is ordinary devotional service, bhakti, that is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Second is Shuddha bhakti, pure devotional service. And third is Viddha bhakti, or mixed devotional service. What is Viddha bhakti? When somebody practices bhakti with the intention of getting something in return, that is Viddha bhakti. That is technically called Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. Because without bhakti, no one can get the result of karma, jnana or ashtanga. And pure devotional service, what is pure devotional service? Pure devotional service means I don't want anything for my own sense gratification. And then this ordinary devotional service is much better than the mixed devotional service, because in this, a devotee has no desires for personal sense gratification. He is ready to serve the Lord without any expectations. And that is what we are trying, to purify ourselves. That is called sadhana bhakti. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa sadhana vita nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. By this process of sadhana bhakti, that bhava will arise in the heart. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. And then he quotes Kaviraj Goswami quotes a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. Mai bhaktirhi bhutanam amritatvaya kalpate dishtya yada sin matsneho bhavatinam yadapanaha. So this verse is spoken by Krishna when he was in Kurukshetra, and all the Brajavasis had also come. So the gopis, when they met Krishna, Krishna told them this verse. Mai bhaktirhi bhutanam. O damsels of Braja, O bhavatinam, O damsels of Braja, pure devotional service unto me is very, very rare. And devotional service which is rendered unto me, it can give one amritatva. It can give one eternal life. Amritatvaya kalpate. Amritatvaya means one can get eternal life by practicing devotional service. Dishtya. How one can receive this? Dishtya, by some great fortune. Only by some great fortune one can get this unalloyed devotional service unto me. And therefore, it is so very rare fortune that you have attained my favor. And gopis, what is the mood of the gopis? What is the mood of the Brajavasis? What attracts Krishna so much about them? Kaviraj Goswami explains. Mata more putra bhave kore na bandhan, atihi na jnane kore lalana palan. Oh, my mother, he thinks, if I will not take care of my child, who will feed him? who will teach him? I will bind him so that he does not go and create mischief. He may not go and run to the forest. Mata more putra bhave kore na bandhan. He binds me. Atihina jnane. He thinks that I am so insignificant. Who will take care of my child? Lalan palan, he takes care of me. And what about my friends? Sakha more shuddha bhave skande arohan. Tumi ko na bada lok tumi yamasam. Arey, my friends, they climb on my shoulder. And then they tell Krishna will fight. And they wrestle with me and they defeat me. And then they tell, what type of big person you are? You are like equal. You are like me only. Yesterday only I defeated. Priya more man kori kore bhartsan. Sarvaved stuti hoite hare moraman. And my gopi friends, when they chastise me, that chastisement is more dear to me than the hymns of the Vedas. And the gopis would tell Krishna, Krishna, if you dance, I'll give you this sweet. If you sing for me, I'll give you this butter. And Krishna would dance, he would sing. Gopi bhi stobito nrityat bhagavan balavat kvachit udgayati kvachin mugdas tadvasho daru yantravat. So Gopi bhi, sometimes they would tell Krishna, Krishna, dance for us. Who is this Krishna who is dancing? He is Bhagavan. Balavat kvachit. He is dancing like a small ordinary child. Sometimes they would tell Krishna, sing. Udgayati. Krishna would sing loudly. Daru yantravat. He became like a wooden doll in the hands of gopis. Sometimes Nand Maharaj, he would tell Krishna, bring that wooden stool. And as a small child, Krishna would go and try to lift that, but he was not able to move. So just to show Nand Maharaj and Yashoda that I have sufficient strength, what he would do? Bahukshepam cha kurute swanam cha pritimavahan. He would slap his arms just to show that I have sufficient strength, I will do it. That is Krishna. Krishna comes under the control of his devotees. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, when the pure love arises, all the regulative principles are surpassed. That does not mean the pure devotees, they don't follow regulative principles. Actually, it is not even to be mentioned that, oh, you have to follow regulative principles. Oh, we are already doing it. What's the big thing about it? They are much beyond that. So that's how the pure devotional service attracts Krishna so much that he is ready to become the servant of his devotees. Ei shuddha bhaktulaya karimu avatar karibo vividha vida adbhuta vihar vaikuntadye nahi ye lilar prachar se lila karibo yate mor chamatkar. So Krishna is thinking, Ei Shuddha Bhakta Laya Karimu Avatar. I will take all these devotees and I will descend. And I will perform so many pastimes. Kariba Vividha Vidha Adbhuta Vihar. I will perform all the wonderful pastimes. All the Leela which are not even manifesting in the Vaikuntha. Vaikuntadye ye Leela nak. Ye lila na karil prachar. I will manifest all those pastimes on the earth now. Because in Vaikuntha, there is only one mood. You are master, I am servant. There are no friends who can climb on the shoulder of Vishnu. No gopis who can chastise. Lakshmi Devi never chastises Vishnu. No mothers can, speak strongly to Vishnu. That is only there in Goloka. So Krishna is thinking, I will appear to broadcast all such pastimes, by which even I am amazed. So that is the internal reason for the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thinking all this, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to broadcast the pastimes which Krishna performed when he was in Vrindavan 5,000 years back. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Anybody has any questions? So there is one question. So Yuga avatar is different. There are various types of avatars of Krishna. Krishna is not one of the avatar. He's avatari. He is the source of all the avatars. In every yuga, there is an avatar. There is a Leela avatar also. There is a Yuga avatar. So these are different avatars, but Krishna is avatari. So that is understanding. Krishna is Tri-yugi. Yeah. Krishna is Tri-yugi. So Kalki avatar is not counted in the Tri-yuga because Kalki avatar is the Leela avatar. He performs the pastime of destroying all the miscreants and sinful people. Tri-yugi means the Lord who appears in three yuga as Yuga avatars. In Kali Yuga, Lord does not appear as Yuga avatar. He appears as Leela avatar or Channa avatar. So these are some technical terms to understand. Okay, any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. On
Hare.
one side, it is told that the one who doesn't take to the Krishna consciousness, he is like an animal. On the other side, it is told it depends on the mercy of the Lord. So how to understand this?
Even after getting the mercy of the Lord, if somebody does not take, then he's an animal. Only by the mercy of the devotees of the Lord one can get devotion. Krishna se tomara Krishna dite para tomara shapatiyachi. Bhaktya sanjayate bhakti. Only a devotee can give devotion. But even after getting a chance to practice bhakti, if somebody does not take to it, on the contrary, he continues enjoying sense gratification, then he is like an animal. So that is understanding.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Caitanya Caritāmrta ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.